Welcome everybody. Today I want to show you this amazing website that we've created that allows us to play Cashflow online. So I will share the link in the description below. But first of all, here we have our homepage, our tools. We have a loan calculator, a Black-Scholes calculator for options, and we have some links to some very interesting sites. But what I want to show you today is down the bottom here, simulate getting out of the rat race by playing the Cashflow simulator. There we go. So we're going to sign in, and that is going to take us to this page where I can then sign in. And I'm in the middle of a game here, but I want to quickly show you how amazing this platform is. So it looks like a lot. I will go through step by step so it isn't too overwhelming. So let's start out with a profession over here. So you are able to pick a random profession, and you can see here that I am self-employed in this game, and I'm able to change the numbers as well, so I can put in my own real-life numbers. It will automatically calculate the taxes and car loan expenses and different other things. I have my assets and my liabilities over here and how long I need to repay them. And unlike Cashflow, for example, where you don't actually repay anything, you're paying off loans, but it goes on forever. Here you actually have a certain amount of years, what the interest rate is, and it will then calculate it correctly so that every time you pass payday, you're actually paying off some of your loan at the same time. And eventually you end up paying off some of these loans. So for example, my retail debt is 2 years, and it is very, very possible to pay that one off. Okay, so we are on the dashboard here, and we have a lot of information. So we have our cash flow statement here on the left. We have our performance indicators here on the right, and you can see that I have 2 of them in blue, the rest are in red, and the aim of the game is to get me into all of them being blue. Bookkeeping status, just make sure that the system is running correctly and that there are no software errors. And the milestones are what we want to achieve throughout the game. So we want to have passive income is greater than our expenses, which means that we're out of the rat race, or passive income twice expenses, which means we're financially free. And if our passive income is 3 times expenses, then we can definitely retire. We want to be an accredited investor with a minimum equity of $1 million, excluding the own home. All ratios within range. At the moment, only 2 of mine are in range. And have a minimum of 7 real estate properties with positive cash flow. And we want to be investing in 4 or more asset classes and be diversified. Okay, we also have our cash ledger. And further down the bottom, we have our income statement. We have our balance sheet showing everything that we possess. I've also already bought some real estate and bought some stocks. I have some children's expenses as well. All sorts of different things have been happening. Now, this part is also very interesting. So we have the name of everything that we own down here, how many of those we own, what the value is, what kind of loan we took out for it, what our investment was, what the interest rate is, how long that interest rate is going to be for, loan to value ratio, monthly income, monthly expenses, monthly cash flow, the return on investment, and how long we've had it in possession. So this game will calculate the time that you've been playing. So let's go back up to the top and I'll explain this. So I'm going to select a card to start off with. There we go, and a card will come up. And I can then decide whether I want to buy that or sell that. I can then also do other things with it. But let's select another card until we get to, here we go, payday. So you'll see in my cash ledger here on the left that I received income here. I've transferred money between my cash accounts. If we go further down, oh, not over here. If we go further down here, money has been transferred from my checking account to my savings account, investing account, and charity account. So I can automatically set up a JARS system. We'll go back up to the top. And that money has been transferred. You can see how much I still have left after that transfer. My expenses have been paid. and that is without the taxes. And then here I have the taxes that I've paid. So the game actually uses correct tax tables, and we are putting in not just Australian tax tables, but we're putting in other tax tables as well, so that you are able to see how the taxation system really works. This really is a real life simulator. It simulates real life very, very closely. Okay, so we can keep going and selecting more cards, and eventually we might find something that we want to buy. If the clicking works, that is even better. There we go. I didn't press hard enough. So we have a fourplex for sale here. The cost is $100,000. The down payment is $20,000. Let's say that we want to buy this one. How much cash do I have? I don't have that much cash, I think. No, I don't. Let's see if we can find something else. But we can actually use this as an example. So let's say that I want to buy. Just need to make sure that I press hard enough. In this game, I can actually choose how much I want my down payment to be. So I can change my down payment, for example, to $10,000. When I hit update, so first of all, let's have a look. So at $20,000, the loan is $80,000 at 3% for 25 years. It gives me my loan to value ratio, my monthly income, my monthly expenses, my monthly cash flow, and my return on investment. So hold on to those numbers in your mind, and when we hit update, you'll notice that things have changed. My loan is now $90,000 at 3%. My return on investment is now 89%, whereas before it was 47, I think. There we go. It was 47, and then when I make the down payment $10,000, it goes from 47% to 89% return on investment. And it also has some performance indicators of the asset itself. No, it has the performance indicators of where I am currently and where I will be after the purchase. So that is not the greatest. So I don't really have the money to buy this right now because I have minus $293 in cash. But you get the idea that you are able to then make some changes and do things that you'd be able to do in real life. Negotiate on what the deposit is going to be, put some more money into the deal, take less out of the deal. All these different things will happen. So you will see that once again, I had a negative balance, so I had to pay bank fees for my negative balance. There we go. I paid $298 for having a negative balance. That's something that also simulates real life very closely. I've again received my income, money's being transferred to my cash accounts. I could actually transfer that money across. I could transfer this money across to make sure that my checking account is not in a negative balance so that I can avoid those fees. And I'll show you how you can do that in just a second. So these buttons, so we have select, we have big deal, which is really, really big deals. You can buy, sell, and pay somebody else, for example. You hit done if you are playing a multiplayer game. And then you have opportunity cards, market cards, shop cards, shares cards, real estate cards, and business cards. And this is linked to a future version of the game where the facilitator is able to administer the game. You're able to choose different versions, level 1, 2, 3, 4, for where you are at with your understanding of the game. And I can also force cards so that you can learn valuable lessons as you are playing. But you can also play this by yourself and just randomly select cards. Okay, so let's have a look at bank here. So we can make bank deposits. We can withdraw from the bank as well. We can transfer money from one account to the other. So let's quickly do that. So I would like to transfer, let's have a look. So I'm not going to touch my charity account, but I'm going to use my investing account because I bought some shares before and I'm now in a negative balance. So I need to transfer, let's transfer $200 from the investing account to the to the checking account. So we'll transfer the $200. And now I'm in a positive bank balance, which means that I'll no longer be paying this fee that I was paying before. So again, this is very similar to real life. It is a really great tool to be able to understand what's going on. You can borrow money. Once again, I need to make sure I click it hard enough. So let's say that I want to borrow $1,000, 10% per annum for 1 year. So I can then borrow $1,000. And you will see that my personal loan is $1,000 and my cash flow on that is going to be negative $87.92. So I'm going to be paying for this loan, and my checking account now has $1,073.95 because I've been able to add that 1,000. I can then also repay my loan. So currently I haven't paid any of it off. So I can then go in and select the amount. So let's say I want to pay off 200 of my $1,000 loan. So I can pay off my credit card, my car mortgage, etc. Let's say I want to pay off. Oh, it's going to force me to pay off the 1,000. Okay, so we'll repay the loan. Excuse me. So I don't have to eventually. So we go back to $73.95, and my expense has gone. So I've never ended up paying it because I haven't passed payday since paying that off. And I can pay other players. So if I'm playing in a multiplayer game, should I say, I can go to a different room, and I can either select a room that's already playing, which there isn't one at the moment, or I can create a new room. I can type in a name, create that room, and have other people come and join me. And this is linked to Zoom so that you can also then talk to people in the group live and play together with them with almost no time distortion. It is amazing. And yes, you can then play with other players and discuss and network and do all these amazing things. So the next thing that I'd like to show you is the reports. Now, because I've already played for a while, there's actually going to be something in here. So you can select different reports. So for example, the trial balance will look like this. So I can see what I am in debit on and what I'm in credit on. So I can see all these different things. So if you understand bookkeeping, that will make a lot of sense. I can see my income statement, which is already on the form anyhow, but I can see exactly what my income is and what my expenses are. I am able to see my balance sheet, the bank's balance sheet. So this one's very interesting. I can see that what the bank's assets are. So the credit card is actually an asset to the bank. My car loan is an asset to the bank. And my bank accounts are actually liabilities to the bank because they owe me money on those, and that is not their money. Whereas my home mortgage, for example, actually is an asset to the bank until I have paid that off. So that is very interesting as well. So the general journal will show us exactly what's happened throughout the game. So I can see if there are any issues or mistakes. And the interesting thing is that the game, as I said, calculates time. So you can see that I paid taxes on September. So the 1st of September, I paid taxes. I did all sorts of different things. And then the month before, different things were happening. So you can see that time is moving in the game, and you can see exactly what you've done. If you're not sure of why the numbers are a certain way, you can go in and have a look to see what happened. And your expenses will pay automatically every time you receive payday. And it's also accurate with regards to being downsized if you've played the game before. When you lose your job in the game, when you're playing offline, then you are going to lose 2 turns and pay your expenses once. Whereas in the game, you stop receiving your work income, but you still receive your passive income from investments, and you still have to pay your expenses. Excuse me. So you are able to play in a more realistic way from being downsized. So you are no longer working, but if you do have passive income, you're still receiving that. Cash ledger, you can see exactly how much cash you have at any point in time and where all of your cash has gone. There we go. Then list of investment assets, so you can see what you own in that moment. You can see the assets that you've sold. I'll show you that one quickly because that one's also very interesting. Oh, I haven't sold any assets. I've only bought things. I can see which doodads that I have picked up throughout the game, but I didn't get any doodads, so that's been good. I can have a look at my statistics. There we go. So we have some nice pie charts of where my monthly cash flow is coming from, what kind of assets I have. I can see my monthly income distribution and my cash flow expenses by type. So I can have a look at a couple of different nice statistics here. And one that excites me a lot is my tax statement. So I need to select the tax year. I only have one at the moment. Let's have a look. Yes, I've been playing long enough. So you can see my income, my taxable capital gain, which I don't have any yet. I haven't been playing long enough because I want to hold my properties for more than 12 months, so I don't pay maximum capital gain, so I have reduction on capital gains. So you can actually reduce your capital gains because the capital gains in the game exist this time around, and they are accurate the way they really work in real life in Australia, and we are also adding different versions for international games. There are also deductions. So in this case, charity, I've donated $250 to charity, so that gets deducted. So my taxable income changes, and then I am taxed, and that is the amount of tax that I pay, and this is my tax refund. So obviously, you need to make sure that you talk to a tax advisor or a tax specialist or an accountant to know more about this, but these are from actual Australian tax tables, and you can start to get an idea of how all of these different things work. So those are the reports. Then we have a loan calculator, so you can actually calculate based off of loan amount, how much your annual interest rate is and the years to pay. So let's put in a quick example. So let's say you borrow 50,000 and we're paying 2.5% interest, and we're going to pay that off in, let's say, 5 years. Then it will show us what our repayments are going to be and what our balance is until we have paid that one off. And so there are 61 payments on that one. There is also a tax calculator. So we can say, let's say, for example, that we earn 100,000. We'll calculate that one, and it will show us the different tax brackets and how much we are paying according to that, and the total percentage as well. So if we have a look, we have the amounts that tax bracket includes, then what percentage that is for us, how much that amount is, and what the actual tax is, and it gives us our total over the full amount. So that is also very interesting. And the Black-Scholes calculator is going to be for options, stock price, strike price, volatility. This is something that we're still building into the system, so that we're going to have very realistic stock buying as well, as opposed to just randomly picking a card and the stock can go up or down dramatically. Here we're going to have historic charts that you can watch in order to be able to buy stocks at realistic prices. Time will go at a certain speed in order to be able to make it realistic over, say, for example, a few-hour game. You are also able to save what you're doing in this game so that you can play over multiple days, and you are then able to simulate, for example, a certain year period. So you would be able to test out a certain strategy that you want to do in real life, and you can play that strategy, for example, for a whole day and see what would happen after 5 years if you implement that strategy. You can then play a different strategy and see what would happen after 5 years. So it is very, very powerful. Okay, so we also have a trading view on here for what we are going to be doing with the stock market parts. So here we can actually see some real values for gold, silver, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, US dollar currency index, Australian dollar to US dollar. We have quite a few of these in here. So for example, we can have a look at the US dollar currency index, of which the technical analysis obviously isn't in TradingView at the moment. And we can have a look at gold versus the Australian dollar, for example, and see what has been happening with that one. So again, these are things that we are going to be building on further, but it's already a very powerful tool and very interesting what is possible. So we also have a school section where we have mini PDF reports, book PDFs. So there are a number of different things that you can read, book references on really good books to read. We have YouTube links for interesting YouTube videos that might be interesting to you, and also other interesting links that are going to be very beneficial to you in order to be able to work on your investment journey. So there is a lot to unpack with this one. You can also see how much other people's money I'm using in order to be able to reach my goals. I think that I have gone through everything. I don't want to go into too much more detail. You can always leave a comment, ask a question, get in touch with me if you have any further questions. But this is a great way not only to be able to play Cashflow while we're in lockdown or if you're in another part of the world, but it is also a very powerful simulator that has a lot that is going to teach you more than any other board game that I know, and more than any other tool that you can use in order to be able to create financial awareness for yourself. So pilots will always use a simulator in order to be able to learn how to fly properly and go through emergency scenarios. So at the Passive Cashflow Club, we actually have certain versions of the game where you have to start in debt or where you are going to go through economic crises, and we have different versions that we can also simulate for you in this simulator with real taxes, which make it even more valuable than the way we've done it in the past. But we'll continue to play Cashflow and the other games that we have, Millionaire Maker and Way to Your Dream, which is a Russian game, which is also extremely interesting and exciting, and also takes Cashflow to a whole new level. So we have lots of different versions, and I'd love to see you for all of them, but I'm glad that I could show you that this one is really the most powerful one that we have. So come and join us so that you can simulate how to avoid getting into trouble, and if you do get into trouble, that you already have strategies for how to get out, so you can test different strategies that you want to implement in real life without getting into any trouble, because in the game you can make mistakes, you can try different things, you can do things that you might otherwise not do and see what would happen. And you can come and network and meet like-minded people and find people that are going to be able to support you and guide you on your journey to financial freedom. Okay, so I know that that was very comprehensive and that there is a lot to this game, but what I would like to say is that it is a lot easier when you are playing, and it is a lot of fun, and you're going to learn a lot. So if you are interested to come and join us and learn how to play this simulator and recreate real life even more closely than any other game, and use that to be able to test things for real life, and then go out and get our support to go out into real life and start investing for real, or take your investing to a whole new level where you are doing things the way the rich do, then the link is in the description. We're looking forward to seeing you there. And until then, keep investing like a pro and come join us so we can help you to become even better.